Okay, I'm standing in the backyard of some of the most beautiful views that you're gonna see, especially in this neighborhood. But before we take a look at this home and these amazing views, we're gonna take a look at two other homes. So one that's $560,000, which is a really good deal, especially for a neighborhood like this. Then we're gonna go take a look at a two-story home in here, which should have some really awesome views that we just talked about at the beginning. And then we're also gonna look at some really awesome incentives that this subdivision's putting on. These two builders in here have some great incentives, so you can buy down your interest rate, you can save a ton of money, you can use it towards closing costs, or if you have any upgrades. But be sure to stay for the end where I take a look at this house right here with some of the best views in this neighborhood. It's got a 3-car garage and some really cool features. So stick around, but let's first go take a look at this home for $560,000. Okay, we are at home number one, and this house right here is $560,000. And once we get inside, you'll see why that really is a good deal, especially for those of you who are looking to kind of downsize, or you just want a smaller home in an amazing neighborhood like this. And then the second home we're gonna look at is right over there. It has a 2-story, so you'll get to see a little bit of the views. But stepping into this, obviously it's gonna be a 2-car garage that you saw, a little bit smaller home, but at the $560,000 price point, it really is a great deal. And Inspirado always does an awesome job of making their entryways really nice. I always love the windows that they have in their front doors, which just makes for a nice look. And really is, Inspirado does have really nice quality homes. They're one of my favorite kind of semi-luxury builder in the Boise area. They have awesome finishes, as you'll see as we go throughout this house. They usually have really high ceilings. These ceilings aren't quite as high as the other houses that we're gonna take a look at in some of their other floor plans. But again, this is a smaller size floor plan, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. So it's not gonna be huge, but it's still very doable. It's not gonna be a 2-bedroom like you see in some of the other smaller sized homes. But right off the bat, we have the front door, and then we have the 2 bedrooms up front, which I know a ton of people love. And then we'll take a look at the master later that's in the back of the house. But just stepping into these bedrooms, this one is a really good size bedroom. For how small this house is and the price point that it's at, they have it laid out really well. As you'll see, as we go through this house, this bedroom, you have the beautiful windows so you can look out. You have that natural light coming in. You get the 3 panels, which is super nice. Oftentimes you don't get that in some of these homes. And then they always do a pretty good job of having good size built-in storage in their closets with plenty of places. You have 1 and 2 racks here, and then you have a 3rd. So you always have a good amount of room. And then the other thing, I talked about the finishes with Inspirado. As you can see, they have these nice baseboards, and you'll see it throughout these houses that we look at. But it always is well finished. The baseboards on the floors are nice. It's that thicker, squared out trim, which always has just kind of that luxury feel, and is really something that I prefer. I like, I know a lot of clients, a lot of you guys moving here really like. And then off these 2 bedrooms, you have a shared bathroom, and they always have really good finishes. You have the quartz countertops, the tile flooring. You have a built-in tub, but then they have the tiling all the way up to the top of the ceiling, which is nice. And then you get the light in the shower. So just a little touches here and there that are more of that luxury finish that you don't find in some of the mid-tier or lower tier first-time homebuyer homes. And they have a good job of the good backsplash, nice cabinetry, and they always do a really good job. And then here's the second bedroom. So this one's a little bit smaller, but still a decent size bedroom. You could even turn this into an office. And again, always have the built-in in the closets, which is a nice touch. It's nice to just have that built in so you don't have to buy storage, and it just uses that space a lot better. And one thing about this area with Inspirado is that it is in a really good location of Star. I'll keep talking about it throughout, but we are right off Shinden Road. So you're in Star, which is again one of the most popular spots in the Boise area for a lot of you guys relocating here. It's growing at a crazy rate, but you're also close to Meridian. So the Costco in Meridian is literally 5 minutes down the road. You have Fred Meyer and Winco right down the road. You have a ton of restaurants surrounding them. You have some of the best schools in Meridian right there. That a lot of that area is one of the nicest areas, but you still get to be just a little bit farther away from the busyness of Meridian. So you're still 5 minutes from Star, right down Star Road, and it makes Inspirado a really nice place to live. And this is phase 1 of this subdivision. So this is a subdivision that's going to have a lot more homes than there are right now. But oftentimes when you get in at phase 1, these homes don't last too long because they're still at a more affordable price. And so a home like this at $560,000 with Tresidio, with these upgrades in a neighborhood like this, and the big incentives that Tresidio has, it really is an awesome home and an awesome neighborhood to be in. But we'll get back to the house. And so walking in the entryway, like I said, this house is set up really well. As you walk through, you have multiple storage closets. So you have one here, you have one here, and then this nice fireplace in the corner with a big seating area, living area connected to the kitchen. So nice open space. But then you have the separate kitchen dining area, which is nice. And then they always have a ton of natural lighting in Tresidio with these big windows, which is really an awesome thing. It's one of my favorite things that homes have. And then before we take a look at the kitchen, this is your garage entrance, which is nice to have that right into the kitchen and the living area. You have the little nook to sit down, take your coat off, take your shoes off, store shoes in the bottom there. And then your laundry room is right here. And so it might look small from right here, but they did a really cool thing right here where they give you just a little bit of extra counter space so you can fold your clothes. Nice that I think they did that to cut that out and give you that extra storage in your laundry room, which is a big plus for me. We won't take a look at this garage because it's just your standard 2-car garage. Some of the other ones we take a look at are a lot bigger. They have 3-car garages. And so we'll just head into the kitchen. And Tresidio has some of my favorite finishes. A lot of these builders, they do a really good job, but I love the color choices that Tresidio makes. When they do the darker cabinets and the gray countertops, or sometimes they'll do the white, they just really do a good job of making good choices. But a good size island for a home this size at 1,600 square feet, you really feel how big it is, and it shouldn't feel that big. A lot of 1,600 square foot homes don't have the layout that this home has, and I really do love how they did it. You still get the big kitchen. You don't have quite as many countertops, but the cabinets, they go all the way up to the ceiling, which a lot of home builders don't do that. They'll have the cutout at the top where you have to figure out what the heck you're gonna put up there. You know, the decorations, and it's hard to figure out. And instead they give you that storage space, which is a really nice plus. And then you have the gas stove top, which is a must for a lot of people. I know for me, cooking steaks, I want that gas fireplace or gas stove top. And then they have a really cool insert here for a ventilation system, so that smoke gets sucked up and pushed outside, but you don't have the big stove hood that you do in some other places. So really nice feature there with the lights underneath. And then your pantry. So anytime you get in these 1,600 homes, you're not gonna have the biggest pantry, but this one is a pretty good size. So it's technically a walk-in pantry, but you're not gonna have the big walk-ins like you do in some of the bigger homes and bigger price points. And then you of course have the microwave built in, and then the oven underneath, which is pretty standard in a lot of these kitchens, Tresidio being a more high quality luxury style builder in the valley, and they have a ton of locations. So one thing as we go through Inspirado is not only can you buy these floor plans in Inspirado, which is a really good location with some of the best views. We're up elevated, as you'll see later on in the video. But if you don't like this area, if you don't want to be in Star, Tresidio has a ton of other communities. They have communities in Cuna, they have them in Eagle, they have more in Star, they have them in Meridian. So you have plenty of options with Tresidio throughout the valley. Because those of you moving here, I always say picking your suburb is probably the most important part of moving here. It determines whether Boise or is going to work for you or not. And so it's just nice to know that Tresidio does have options all over the valley. And then again, this dining area, separate from the kitchen, which I always prefer. I like to have a separate dining area. You can make this a breakfast nook. You could put a circle table here. It's really good utilization of the space. And then you have your living area separate over here with the nice fireplace. Another thing Presidio always does a really good job of is they have these vaulted ceilings, or not vaulted, but kind of crown molding style where you have the insert up. A lot of times they'll actually put beams there. These homes don't have it, but that's actually an easy addition. For a couple $100, you can turn those into what looks like wood beams. But it's just a nice extra touch. And then taking a look at the backyard, this isn't gonna be the biggest backyard you've ever seen. It's also not the smallest, but it does come included with these move-in ready homes. When you buy new construction move-in ready homes, a lot of times builders don't include the landscaping, or if you build your own home, you have to pay to upgrade that backyard landscaping. So another nice benefit that it comes with the home. And for those of you that don't know Star is a more conservative, it's a smaller town. It doesn't feel quite as small as like a Kuna would. So Kuna has 40,000 people. Star is a population of about 19,000 people. And Star feels bigger than Kuna, even though it has half the population. And a big part of that is because when you get into the city center of Star, a lot of people moving here. I'd probably guess that 15 of the 19,000 people that live in Star is in a small little 2 or 3 mile square radius. And there's only 2 main entrances and exits out of Star. And so when you live in the city center, which is over here, and I'll throw up a map and show you guys that, it gets crowded, the traffic gets bad, it gets crammed. And so you move to a small town thinking it's not gonna be busy and there's not gonna be traffic. But in Star, you do get that. Now, it's not as bad as people, a lot of people can handle it. There's a reason that everyone's moving to Star. You have the Boise River, as you'll see later. But a place like Kuna, you're not gonna have nearly as much traffic, even though there's more population and there's more amenities in Kuna. And then Middleton is gonna be an even smaller suburb, a little bit farther down the way, but just a little bit there on Star as we kind of head into the master bedroom. I'll flip you guys around. Really awesome. Again, they do these inlaid ceilings. You have the candlelights with the fan, a good size master bedroom. This is a king size bed to give you guys a good feel for how big this master bedroom is for a 1,600 square foot home. So just a really good size bedroom. And again, the nice finish is it's not gonna have any accent walls or stuff, because a lot of these move-in ready homes, they keep them a pretty blank slate, so you can kind of decide what you wanna do. If you wanna throw up some shiplap, or you wanna throw up an accent wall right there, you can. And then heading into, obviously, the master bathroom. Good size master bathroom. You have the dual vanities with the nice quartz countertop, and I love this backsplash. That hexagonal kind of stone backsplash is nice. And the cabinetry in this home is honestly one of my favorites for darker. Usually I don't like the darker cabinets, but this home actually looks pretty good. Then of course the tile, the separate room for the toilet. And then this was my favorite part of the house with this master bedroom is this is a huge walk-in shower. It feels like you're in a spa. They have the awesome tile on the hexagonal shape on the bottom. You have the tiling to the top. You have the seat in the shower, and this is a really good size shower. So I'm tall and I fit really nicely in here. I have a ton of room. Might be getting kind of echoey, but this is one of my favorite features of this house. And then of course you have the walk-in closet, which there's going to be a lot bigger walk-in closets and some of the homes we take a look at next, but still very usable, very good size. You have the built-ins, which True City always does a really good job of, or really any of these semi-luxury kind. And then again, the master bedroom is here offset on the back side of the house. And then it walks you right in to the living area, which is just a nice thing to have. Now, this is gonna be the most affordable home in this neighborhood. You're not gonna find anything cheaper than this. And this really is a luxury. It's known for its views. When you drive through to get to this subdivision, you'll see signs everywhere that say, best views in the valley or some really amazing views. And it really is a cool neighborhood. They're also gonna have a ton of amenities. They're gonna have a nice community center with a huge pool, a gym. It's gonna be more of the luxury feel, kind of resort style living. And again, my name is Brady Fagel. I am a Boise local and I am a realtor. And so reach out, shoot me a text if you guys have any questions. I am your resource, and know that if you reach out to me, I am the one that's going to work with you. If you trust me enough to watch these videos, to get to know me, to deal with me and suffer through some of these videos, then you deserve to have me as your agent and me be the one working with you, me answering your texts and calls. So reach out anytime. And then if you can, subscribe to the channel. If you found value in this video, hit the subscribe button. Not only does it help you not miss any of these videos, but it actually helps me reach more people and help more people moving to the Boise area. So I would really appreciate that. But we're gonna head over to that 2-story home. That is a really nice setup. You guys are gonna love that home. We're gonna talk more about the incentives later on that these 2 builders in this subdivision are offering. And it really is a good time to buy in this subdivision because of that first phase and because of these big incentives that some of these builders are offering. Okay, I know I said that the home at the end had some of the best views, which it still does, but this home right here in the 2nd story has some amazing views that you guys have to see, and we'll go through that. This is also more affordable than the last home, but it's 3,000 square feet. It has 5 bedrooms and the upstairs is insane. I'm excited to take you guys through this one. It is a really awesome floor plan at a more affordable price than I would have ever thought for the size of home, how nice it is, and then the view that you get in the upstairs that we'll take a look at towards the end. But let's step in. It's gonna be the same builder, so Tresidio. We're not gonna tour any of the Berkeley homes, but Berkeley also does have some amazing builds in this community as well. But obviously the same entrance, it's pretty standard in the Tresidio. You have the nice finishes. This is nice. You have the nice chandelier in the entryway. And then right off the front, you have a half bath. So this is one of the homes that has that half bath with a bedroom in the front for when you guys have people over to entertain. There's a bathroom to use. And then over here, you have the laundry room, the entryway from the garage. And this home is a 3-car garage. So we're getting into the 3 cars, which I know is really popular with you guys. And I'll take a step out here into the 3-car garage, because as what you'll see is a lot of these 3-car garages have this little extra nook to extend it to give you guys a little bit more room. So none of these houses are RV garages, although Tresidio does have a ton of RV garage options in a lot of their communities. This just isn't one of them. But if you want to take a look at other homes in other communities, it's definitely an option. Then the laundry room, pretty standard, similar to what we saw, just a little bit bigger with the last house, where you have the cabinets, you have the spot to hang clothes, your washer dryer will go here, and then you also have counter space with a sink, which I know is nice for a lot of people when kiddos or you get home from work, or for those of you who hunt and love the outdoors, you can come in from the garage, take your clothes off, get a little bit of that mud off, and have that as an option. You also, of course, have the nook for taking off your shoes and your coat rack. But this home, I love the layout. It's basically a single story with the upstairs being a really cool feature. It's one of my favorite floor plans of Tresidio. And then again, we'll take a look at that view at the end. But walking in, so we have the half bath here, which is always nice to have. We have one of the 5 bedrooms right here. And this is a really good sized bedroom. This is bigger than any of the other ones we looked at. You have the nook in the front, which is nice. You can sit down, put stuff up there. You can read a book. A lot of people will put a cushion there. And then coming in from the front, you have storage, which is always nice. I know people love to have a ton of storage. And then this is the classic Tresidio look, where you have the beams in the ceiling. The last house didn't have those beams installed, but again, it's a couple $100, not that big of a deal to add that in any of these floor plans. This one just happens to come with it. You have the fireplace. The master is gonna be off to the side right here, and we'll take a look at that in a second. And then you have the kitchen living area. You have 2 more bedrooms off over there. So again, that separate bedrooms to the master, which is always a nice thing to have. But your studio, this is a really nice open floor plan. And again, this home's right at about 3,000 square feet. So you get a ton of room, and you'll see as we go through upstairs and everything else. But you're of course gonna have the nice finishes. Of course, the big windows to let a lot of that natural light in, which is always my favorite. The master, and then we'll go take a look at the kitchen right now. So this kitchen for a 3,000 square foot home's not gonna be the biggest kitchen you've ever seen, but you do still have this extra counter space right here, which is nice. You can make it a little coffee table or a coffee stand. You could have your whiskey or your wine, but of course the cabinets go all the way up to the ceilings, all the way throughout with these 9-foot ceilings. Then you of course have the microwave, the oven, and then the stovetop that we saw in the last house with this nice kind of tucked away vent hood. But this pantry is gonna be a lot bigger. So you have a full walk-in pantry, which is always nice, and it goes all the way underneath the stairs to give you a ton of extra room, which is a super awesome thing with this floor plan. And then of course, you have a lot bigger dining area than you did at the last house, which of course at 3,000 square foot, that's gonna happen. It gives you a really nice open feel. I really love this floor plan. And then right off the kitchen is where you have your 2 main extra bedrooms. So you have more storage. Your studio always has a ton of storage closets, which is nice. You have your bedroom number 1, which is just gonna have a standard closet. And I'll open it up because you guys can see they always have the built-ins. They always have, pretty good utilization of the closets. This bedroom's not gonna be big. I would almost turn this into more of an office. It's the perfect size for an office. And then going into the other bathroom in between, or in the other bedroom, we have a bathroom in between these two. This is gonna be your main extra bedroom that is a lot bigger. So you have a ton of extra space. You have the 2 windows to let in a lot of that extra light. And as you can see, this lot wraps around the side through those windows. So we'll go into the backyard later, but you can see how big this backyard is. And then this bedroom has a walk-in closet, and that's why I say this is probably your main spare bedroom. You have the walk-in closet, you have a lot more area. You could fit 2, 3 kids in here, 4 kids if you really wanted to. And it just is nice to have these separated from the master, which is all the way on the other side of the house. So we'll head over to the master before we go upstairs, and I show you guys how awesome this upstairs is and why I think you guys really would love this house. And at this square footage price point, it's basically a single story with everything we're looking at with a really awesome upstairs. But then heading into the master, again, more storage space. You have a ton of storage space in Inspirado homes. And then heading into the master, which is a much bigger master than we saw at the last house. This has a really good size room. That's a king bed to give you guys some perspective. And then heading into the master bathroom, which I love this master bathroom as well. They always do a really good job. But you have the dual vanities, of course, and then you have extra cabinet space. It's nice to have that extra space with the nice look that matches all of your cabinets. You have the separate tub right here. And then this walk-in shower is nice. I love how it's opened up, whereas the last one felt more like you were walking into kind of a secluded spa. This one's more open. So you walk right into the shower. You have built-in shelves in here to put your shampoo and your razor and everything else. You can kind of sit down here, but not really. You'd have to have a pretty small butt to sit there. But again, just a nice walk-in shower. And then of course, you have your toilet in the separate room, and then an amazing walk-in closet, which is gonna be pretty standard with these studios. You have a ton of built-ins. They always have a ton of this cabinet space with the double hangers, top and bottom. Just a really good sized bathroom, nice home. I love this layout, but now we're gonna head upstairs because this is my favorite feature of this house is the upstairs. And again, we're in Star. This has that small town feel. You're gonna have good school zones. You're gonna be close to everything. You're right off 2 main roads in the backyard here, which is nice to have if you don't mind being closer to a busy area. But having access to those main roads to get to Meridian, to get to Boise, you can get to Nampa. Star's right down the road. You have Albertsons and Ridley's in Star. You have Costco and Winco and restaurants in Meridian. So this location is really good. And like I said, you'll see the views in this upstairs, but that last home we're gonna take a look at, you'll see why this neighborhood, it's elevated up and you get amazing views of the Boise River that we'll take a look at in that last home. But let's first take a look upstairs. And now as you head upstairs, you have right and left. I'll take left later, but this right section gives you the view into the back. You also have a bathroom up here, which is nice. They have some black tile, which is a little bit more unique. I really like that look. With, of course, the good, nice quartz countertop finishes, but a really big bonus room up here. You know, you could throw a golf simulator up here. You could put a TV room up here. You could turn it into a homeschooling section with benches and desks right there. Make that a black or a chalkboard wall. Just a really cool setup in here. You have the vaulted ceilings, which is always a nice touch, and plenty of lighting with the can lights. And then one thing you'll notice is these air vents are up here, which you wouldn't even think of, but because they're up there, you don't have to worry about furniture on the floors blocking it. And most of the time, these builders like Tresidio, those vents are put in very specific areas depending on which way your home is facing. So if it's facing south or if it's facing north is gonna determine where they put a lot of these vents. And having them in the ceilings is actually a really nice thing to have. Not only does, heat rise and so it pushes it down, but you don't have to worry about the furniture. So just a really nice plus. But this bonus room isn't awesome, but my favorite part about this floor plan is this room back here, because you're not gonna have a view that's blocked. You have these 2 windows, and hopefully I can give you guys a good look of what the view's like, because it's very hard through these cameras. But you have another bedroom up here. Because you have the closet, this is a bedroom. You have the big 3 windows, and then I don't know if you'll see it. If not, I'll try to get the drone footage. But you have this beautiful view of the mountains back behind Boise that really, even if you build 2-story houses out here, you're not gonna lose that view. And so this is where this subdivision is a really awesome one. And even though you have really awesome views there, it's not gonna beat this next house that we look at, which we're gonna head over to right now. As we go downstairs though, just wanna talk a little bit more about Star. You're about 45 minutes to maybe an hour, sometimes more if traffic's really bad, from downtown Boise. The Village in Meridian, which is a really popular place for a lot of people to go hang out, that's about 30 minutes, maybe 20 if traffic's not too bad. And then everything along Eagle Road to get to the interstate. So you can just take Star Road straight down, or you can head down and hit 10 Mile, and you're only 15 minutes from the interstate, which is nice. As far as hospitals go, you have a big St. Luke's in Meridian, which is about 25 minutes from here, maybe 30, depending on traffic and which route you take. You also have one in Nampa. So we're actually closer to Nampa than a lot of other parts of Meridian and of course Boise, but the Nampa St. Al's is actually not that far. It's probably closer than the Meridian St. Luke's. So another location thing just on this Star location is you are close to a lot of the things that I know is really important to people. And then for outdoor, I know we'll take a look at the view of the Boise River, but that's one thing that Star has that a lot of these other suburbs do not have, is the Boise River. So Star, they have the Boise River. There's a green belt going through it. You can go kayaking, you can fly fish there. There's a really cool spot to hang out in the river with a rope swing into the river. A lot of people just go put their chairs out, drink a beer, drink a lemonade, and hang out in the summertime. But they also just built a park in Star called Freedom Park, which has ponds for kayaking. It has beaches to hang out in, so you can take your kayak out, your paddleboard out. And it's a really awesome feature of Star is having the Boise River, having a lot of these ponds that Star has. You don't get that in a lot of the other suburbs. So Middleton, it has the Boise River, but it doesn't have the green belts or the ponds that Star has. Kuna doesn't have the Boise River. It has Indian Creek, which Tresidio builds an Indian Creek Ranch, which does have kind of waterfront properties, but like I always say, it's kind of the Walmart version of the Boise River. So another big benefit of Star is all of those things you have, and Star is growing really fast. But let's go take a look at this last home with some of the best views. It's one of the only lots that really doesn't have backdoor neighbors, and it gets you these amazing views. So let's go take a look. Okay, now as I promised, we'd take a look at this home at the end. It of course has the 3-car garage, and I'll flip you guys around here so you can take a look at this home. It has that longer driveway, but there's a reason for this, and why it has some of the best views in this neighborhood is because you get tucked back here, and you'll see in the backyard when we go later. But Tresidio Homes always does an amazing job. This is one of their farmhouse style elevations, and it is just a really beautiful home. You of course have the rock, you have this nice entrance with the tall door with the windows in the door, which is always an amazing thing. And before we take a look inside, as I promised you guys, we'd talk about some of those incentives, so we'll take a look at those in this home. We're gonna take a look at some of the special features here in Inspirado, which is one of the top subdivisions. It's really new. You guys have seen just how few homes are being built and are for sale right now. But let's go take a look inside this floor plan of Tresidio Inspirado. Now that we're inside, as you can see, Tresidio has these same tall ceilings, which is really nice. You get the 9-foot, 10-foot ceilings. You get the really wide hallways. And then this front door, Tresidio always does a really good job of making it feel like that luxury entrance. Then coming off the front, so when you enter the front, you have your 2 bedrooms right here off the front that we'll take a look at. You have your garage and your entryway right here with, you know, your cubbies for your shoes, which is always awesome, your coat racks. And then heading into these first 2 bedrooms, so of course you have similar size bedrooms. These are gonna be good sized spare bedrooms back and forth. So you have one there, bathroom in between that we'll take a look at, because some of the floors in this bathroom are really awesome tile flooring. The window right here, closet with these big tall doors, which another thing you know about Tresidio is they do this awesome job of having these tall ceilings. You get the tall doors, and then of course these baseboards that you've seen in Tresidio and some of these other homes. It's just a really nice look. And then taking a look over here, you have some more storage as you walk into, and then this bathroom right here. So this flooring is some of my favorite. I actually really like this flooring. And then the tile finish all the way up to the ceiling in this bathroom. Of course, you're gonna have the nice granite countertops and just a really good looking bathroom here. And then the bedroom right here is gonna be very similar. So you're gonna have same bedroom size, a little bit bigger closet that will open up here in a second. And then you have the 2 front windows opening up to the front of the home. And then you have this little reading nook where you can hang out, you can sit here. A lot of people will put like a pad down. And then this closet is a good size closet. So it's gonna be bigger than the other bedroom that we just took a look at. Your crawl space access is in here. For those of you out of town that don't know what that is, that gets you down into the crawl space, which is underneath the house and it's where a lot of your piping is. And these homes, so Tresidio, this home right here is gonna be 4 bedrooms. So we just looked at the first 2. It's gonna be 3 bathrooms. The kitchen's gonna be one of my favorites. And of course, we'll take a look at the view at the end of this video. But Tresidio always does a really good job. We took a look at the one at the $560,000 price point, and I'll take a look at the price point here in a second on this one. And then we're of course gonna go over the incentives. But first we'll head into the garage, because I know the garage space is a big one for a lot of you. And this one is a good sized garage. So it is a 3-car garage. We're not gonna have the RV bay like I know a lot of people like, especially in Star. But first, the laundry room. So this laundry room is really good size. You have some cabinet space up here, which is nice. You have the hanging racks to hang, dry your clothes, you know, for some of those nicer clothes, you can hang those. And then you have a sink to have that, especially off the garage space. But a really good sized laundry room. You have plenty of space to fold your clothes. And we'll head out into the garage. because this garage isn't going to be the biggest thing you've ever seen, but it is a 3-car, which is nice. And then another awesome thing is that you do have a little bit of an extended third bay. So a lot of 3-car garages will have this extended bay. Some of them will go back a little bit farther, but for this Trasidio, it just has that small extension, which gives you a little bit extra room. Now we're gonna we'll head into the kitchen. And then one thing with this too is you have your water heater, you have your furnace, and one of the things is we have a lot of hard water here in Idaho, so oftentimes they'll include this section right here, so you can include a water softener, because a lot of people like to upgrade to that to soften up that water so you don't get the white stains in a lot of your showers or in your faucets and sinks. And so this home doesn't have it, but a lot of times you will see that, and it is an upgrade option that a lot of people do like to do. Coming into the garage, you go right into the main living space. So you have your living room offset to the right here with the awesome fireplace, the center mantle. You have the big 12-foot ceilings, but just a nice look, really tall open area. And then I do love how you have your separate dining area. I know for me personally, a lot of these homes that you see in the Boise area, they don't always have the separate dining area. So a lot of times it'll be living room, a place for your table, and then the island in the kitchen. And so it's nice to have this offset, and you might get a peek at some of the view right now. But the other nice thing about this dining area is that you can sit down, have dinner, and you have a beautiful view of the mountains and the Boise River that we're gonna really give you guys a good look at here in a second. But just a cool layout. This is one of my favorite layouts that Trasidio has, where you have the dining space behind you, then you have the living space, and then of course you have the kitchen with the really big island. And they always have really nice finishes in Trasidio. I like this gold look with that greenish two-tone. It's always a nice thing to have. And then of course, they're gonna have the soft close. And before we take a look at the rest of the kitchen, I'm gonna walk you guys into the master. So the master is offset. There's another bedroom right here that we'll take a look at once we go back to the kitchen, but it's nice having the master separated from those 2 bedrooms in the front. You also have some extra storage here before you head into the master, because storage is always nice to have. So you actually have a closet here and a closet here when you head into the master. But as you can see, good size master bedroom. You have the big open windows to let in a lot of that natural light and to give you that view. So as you can see from right here, and we'll show you a little bit better drone shots, but you don't have any backyard neighbors, and you're not going to. So you have this canal right here, which will be full in the summertime. So you'll get ducks going through. You'll have nice water. It'll create some sort of river-like sounds, but in your master bedroom, you can see the Boise River from there. And when we step out into the backyard, you really get to take a look at that. But a good size master. This is a king size bed, so you can see how much it can fit. And then heading into the master bathroom, which they do a really good job in this master bath. You can see the tub, the elevated tub. You have the small vanity here, and then you have the large one here, which I know my wife ends up getting this one most of the time. But a good sized bathroom. You got the dual mirrors, and then heading into the walk-in shower, and then the extra bedroom or room for the toilet. So you have a door that you can close, which is always a big plus. And there's a seating in here in the walk-in closet. Sometimes it's nice to be able to sit down, you know, relax, take a breather and sit in the shower. And yeah, they do a really good job on the finishes. You have the nice rock flooring instead of the tile, which I think adds a really nice extra touch. And then the closet. So this closet is a really good size walk-in closet. You have a ton of built-ins, which is oftentimes really nice. So you can put shoes, you can fold clothes, but it gives you a ton of room. I mean, this is a small bedroom for some other houses. And then off the master, before we get into the kitchen, is this 4th bedroom. It's a big spare bedroom with its own bathroom. It has the walk-in closet. So you get a walk-in closet, a bathroom all to yourself, and this bedroom is a lot bigger, and this is directly connected to the master bedroom, with the master bath being directly on the other side of the wall. But it's really nice having this separate thing if you want it to be your spare bedroom for when people visit, so they have their own bathroom. It's a great option if you don't want the kids right backed up to your master. And this is right off of the kitchen area, and so it's nice to have these two rooms in the back, but this one is especially big. It's a really good sized room with that walk-in closet. And before I walk you over to the rest of the kitchen, because there's a really cool feature that I like about it, we'll just go over the incentives really quick. So the thing about Presidio right now is the winter time, so there's a lot of holiday incentives going on. And with these homes right here, Presidio is giving $20,000 to people who buy a Presidio home before the end of the year, and they're able to close on that. Which, if you take a look at like the $560,000 home that we went and looked at, an extra $20,000 can go a long way, especially because interest rates right now haven't dropped like I think we would have liked them to. They're still sitting around that 7.1%. And so that can actually get you a long ways down into the sixes. It can also cover your closing costs, so you don't need to worry about that, which helps, especially for those of you guys moving to Boise. Moving expenses, you know, can be $5,000 to even $10,000 to get all of your stuff from California up to Boise. And so it's a really nice thing to just add that extra $20,000 that you're not usually going to get in a resale home. So you get a brand new home and you get $20,000 on top of it, which is just a really awesome benefit to have. So that's an awesome incentive to have. Now we're gonna take a look at the kitchen, because this little nook right here that you guys can see is one of my favorite parts of this floor plan specifically. So of course, you have the stovetop oven over here, you have the microwave and the oven, but then you have what is almost like a little butler's pantry style setup. So you have the extra counter space, you can do prepping back here, you have cabinets all the way up to the ceiling and all of the kitchen, but also back here to give you even more storage, which isn't often the case. Oftentimes this will just be a pantry. You won't get this little extra space in the kitchen like you do in a lot of other places. And then this leads you right into the walk-in pantry. So you have plenty of room for food, you know, storing your food and everything like that. And it's right off of this butler's pantry area. Now, of course, as promised, we're gonna go give you guys a view of what it looks like in the backyard here. Unfortunately, it's always tough with cameras, the handhelds like this, to give you guys a true perspective on what it looks like. And the other thing is, right now it's the winter time in Boise, so the trees, a lot of them are bare, so you can't really see what it would look like in the summertime and in the early fall and spring when it's really extra beautiful. But I'm gonna try and do my best to give you guys drone shots and give you guys a really good idea of what this view is actually like. So we'll step outside, I'll flip around and show you exactly what this looks like. Stepping outside. So as you walk out, as you see, you don't have any backyard neighbors, which is always a huge plus. A decent sized lot. It's not gonna be the biggest lot you've ever seen, but it is still a good sized backyard, especially for a lot of what the other houses offer. You're gonna have the canal right here, but then this is my favorite part. So you can't really see it through this camera right here, so hopefully the drone shots pick it up, but you have a view of all of the mountains right here, and you're never gonna have backyard neighbors. So there's never gonna be neighbors here. There's never gonna be neighbors over here. And all of this, which you can't see through this camera very well, is the Boise River. So you have a view of the entire Boise River, 180 degrees, and it just makes it a really awesome view for a home like this. And this home is listed at right around $980,000, so a little bit more spendy than the $561 we looked at the beginning. But for where we're at in Star, which has a median home value of $650, so it's a more expensive part of the Boise area, and with a view like this, usually views you pay a lot more money for the homes, it's actually a pretty good price. And part of that is because of the phase 1 section of this Inspirado in Star. And so realistically, the price that you're paying for this, for the view that you get in the location in Boise, this home is a great option. And of course, if you guys are wanting to learn more about the Boise area, I always say that the most important part of your decision is choosing the suburb. And if you don't know if Star is the right one, watch this video here where I go through every single suburb in Boise, including Star. I give you the pros and the cons and everything that you need to know about each suburb, because it really is the most important part of your move here. But thank you guys for watching. Look forward to meeting you.